So everyone, these guys know what they're talking about. What we're going to be talking about today is blocking. We're going to start it off, Chris, with you. If you're walking down the street and someone asks you this question, how important is blocking in the sport of volleyball? How are you going to address that question? How are you going to answer it?
From my perspective and my experience, and I know this is taught through Gold Medal Square too, it may not be the most important skill that we come across in terms of wins and losses, but it's definitely something that we do, pay attention to. And when we run practices, it's offense versus defense, and usually we have a coach taking a look at it. And so, for the amount of time that we spend on it, probably not as much as some of the other skills that we have, but it's definitely like we always say, there's no little things, and we for sure take our time to break down the skill whenever possible.
Keegan, I took about 300 high school matches from the state of Utah and took winning percentages for certain teams that outperformed their opponent in these certain skills. No shock that attacking is number one. But blocking still, if you outblock your opponent, you have a better than 60% chance of winning a match.
Yeah, it makes sense to me. I started my career coaching 13s, and the most important thing was to win the coin toss and call serve and get your first 3 servers up, and have a couple outsides and a libero and middle back who could handle first contacts. And so that's always stuck with me, just the game in its base level is those skills to me. And then blocking certainly gets important. The higher you go, I think it starts to show up. But in terms of just raw winning, there's a lot more points elsewhere that are easier to grab, I think, is how I think about it.
Cool. So we have lots of video examples. We're going to go over footwork technique, arm work technique, eye work technique, and then we're going to get into kind of the strategy behind blocking, double teaming attackers or loading or dedicating to certain hitters. Chris, you talked about the importance of blocking. We talk about this at our clinics. I should not ignore the fact that, Keegan, we're going to be in your neighborhood in a couple weeks. So if you want to join us at one of these clinics, we just got back from Arkansas. We're going to be in Seattle and Utah over the next month. Keegan, excited to be out there in Washington. A couple weeks.
Yeah, our team's getting after it. It's our spring season, and the weather's getting good. So you want to be in Seattle in May. So it's not full yet, but it's a pretty large clinic. So come up here. Come on, Chris.
All right. Good pitch. Also, if you want to win one of these, this is our last item of housekeeping. Go ahead and hashtag GMS Plus. We got some comments coming in. Steve, Kayla, William, thanks. We'll do a drawing in a little bit, and one of you will win one of these Yeti water bottles. So go ahead and hashtag GMS Plus. Also, use that comment section to ask Keegan and ask Chris any questions you have about blocking. We're happy to make this a very interactive show, and we want you to be able to ask your questions, and we'll address those as they come in. So